Hi, Texas historians. We're here today and we're going to do another video. This is American Indian culture groups of Texas. So these are the Indians that you'll need to know, Native Americans. So we're going to be talking about them in different regions. So the southeastern culture first would be the cato. And the cato, if you look in the picture, you're going to be looking for tools, things like what types of food, job, housing, what types of housing they had, and where they were located. So you'll be able to see some of that as we go through. So if we look at this little chart here, we have forest of East Texas. This is where they were in the coastal plains. So you'll need to know that for sure. They were sedentary. You can tell that house is not going anywhere. It's probably going to stay there. So they didn't move around. These were beehive-shaped houses with wooden poles and grass to cover them. Some of them may have been plastered the outside with mud. Food, they grew their own crops, so they were farmers. Things like beans and squash and sunflower seeds, and they also ate wild plants. They hunted buffalo and deer, and they fished. So because they were on the coastal plains, they were able to go out in the Gulf and catch food, catch fish. So let's go ahead and stop this for just a second. Okay, so let's continue. One of the unique characteristics of the cato is that they were one of the most advanced societies in Texas. They had government, they had an economy, and they're the ones that are responsible for giving Texas its name, Tejas. So that's important as well. You'll see that again probably on a test. All right, the Gulf culture. This is the Karankawoans. These are the Gulf culture. So if you look at that picture there, you can see they were located on the land. They're going to have, get a little pointer here. They're going to have some canoes, and their houses were a little different. You can see that they were almost like just little huts that were right on the coast. They've got animals and things. So let's take a look a little bit more specifically about them. So their location is near present-day Galveston on the coastal plains. They were nomadic. They moved around. That's a vocabulary word that you need to know, nomads. They moved around during the season. They had wigwams. These were circular huts from bent poles covered with animal skins. They also fished, obviously, because they were near the coast. They fished sea turtles and collected shellfish. They hunted deer and small animals. And the Karankawoans ate a lot of oysters, like tons of oysters. They loved them. And so you're going to hear on Devaka's journey here in a couple of weeks, you'll hear about how Cabeza Devaka, got tired of eating oysters because he was once a prisoner of the Karankawoans. They rubbed alligator fat and dirt on their skin to keep insects away, and they built dugout canoes from tree trunks for transportation. And they also decorated themselves with bright colors, and they painted themselves with those. The Pueblo culture, the name of the group is the Jumano, and you can see their houses are way different than the other ones, the way they lived. So take a look at that picture for a second. All right, so you can see it's a lot different. We'll go on to the chart-looking thing. The tribe, the name of the tribe is the Jumano, and they were found in the mountains and basins region close to the Rio Grande. Housing, they were sedentary. Obviously, they did not move. That's another vocabulary word that you need to know. They used adobe bricks and dry clay mud. Their food, they farmed some corn and other crops and ate wild plants, and they also were, as many of the other Native American tribes, were very much had to had to live off the buffalo. The government is each pueblo village had a leader with its own government. So this is a little bit different than some of the other ones. Most of the other ones did not have a government. They were called the striped people because they kind of painted themselves. And they were very friendly traders. You can see in the picture over there about why they were called the striped people. All right, the Plains culture. What's next? These are the Comanche. These are the more the ones that are probably more famous, and you've probably heard of the Comanche before. So you can see in their picture, if you look at some of that stuff, take a look. So if you need to pause the video at any time, you can do that to look around. But there's lots and lots going on in that picture right there. All right, so the Comanche was the tribe. They were located in the Great Plains region. Let me hold on for just a minute and let me catch this. All right, sorry about that. So we got the phone call taken care of. So let's continue. So this group of Comanches obviously were nomadic. You can see by just looking at their housing that they were moved around a lot. And these teepees were easily able to take down and move and all that stuff. Their food, they were very dependent on the buffalo. Very, very important. They were very skilled hunters. They were also very fierce warriors. Okay, so these guys were very vicious and were very much a tough Indian tribe to deal with. Okay, so here's going to be your assignment. Once you do your chart from earlier, you can go back and look at these two things. So what I want you to do is you're going to do this thing called a 4-to-1 exercise. So on the left side of this T-chart, you are going to find 4 things that we've talked about in this video that all the tribes have in common, that all 4 of those tribes have in common. And then on the other side, you're going to write down one thing that is unique about each. Okay, one thing that's specific only to that tribe. And you're going to do this on there is, in the Google Classroom, there is an assignment that has this in it. It's in the same assignment as your chart. So that is what you will turn into to me. You'll submit that Google slide and turn that in with the 4-to-1 and the chart. So hope you're doing okay. If you need anything from me, remember you can email me at any time and I will get you back as soon as possible. So hope you have a good day and good luck on the assignment.